Wars are no longer fought on borders. They are fought on timelines, news feeds, and television screens. In this age, victory is not determined by who captures land, but who controls the narrative. From Russia's Telegram propaganda to China's censorship firewalls, from Western think tank media echo chambers to India's growing digital influence, the information domain has silently become the fifth dimension of warfare. Welcome to the invisible battlefield, where perception is power and truth is the first casualty.
Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music.
Every era of warfare had its defining weapon. In the ancient world, the sword. In the industrial age, the machine gun. In the Cold War, nuclear deterrence. And today, in the digital age, information itself is the weapon. But information warfare isn't new. During World War II, propaganda machines on both sides shaped morale and perception. Hitler's Minister of Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, once said, "A lie told once remains a lie, but a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth." Decades later, the technology has changed, but the philosophy remains. Today, wars are not only broadcast live, they are curated. Algorithms amplify one version of reality while silencing another. Truth becomes optional. Narratives become the battlefield. This is not about hacking servers, it's about hacking human perception. It's not about controlling territory, it's about controlling minds. Modern militaries now deploy information operations as a parallel front. In Ukraine, drone strikes are accompanied by viral Telegram videos. In Gaza, every image becomes a weapon of global opinion. And in Taiwan, China's digital disinformation network works 24/7, softening global resistance long before a single missile is fired. The battlefield has gone invisible, but the stakes have never been higher. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, the world expected tanks and missiles to decide the outcome. But within days, it became clear. This was also a war of narratives. Ukraine's leadership weaponized communication. President Volodymyr Zelensky didn't just lead from the front, he led through the lens. His daily video messages, short, emotional, direct, were crafted to bypass traditional media and speak directly to the world. Hashtags became as powerful as HIMARS rocket systems. Every destroyed tank clip went viral. Every Ukrainian victory became a trending narrative. Russia, on the other hand, relied on disinformation and censorship, using state-controlled media and Telegram channels to flood the zone with multiple conflicting truths, a strategy known as information saturation. The aim? To make truth so fragmented that the audience stops believing in anything. This is the essence of the modern information war. Not to convince you of a lie, but to exhaust you with too many versions of the truth. Public opinion, not just in Ukraine but globally, became a strategic weapon. Sanctions, funding, and diplomatic stances shifted, not merely from battlefield results, but from perception of who was winning morally. Wars are now fought as much for legitimacy as for territory. If Ukraine showcased the chaos of open information warfare, China represents its opposite, a model of absolute control. The Great Firewall of China isn't just about censorship. It's a digital fortification built to maintain narrative sovereignty. Inside China, every piece of news, entertainment, or social media post aligns with the Communist Party's grand narrative: the rise of China, the fall of the West, and the destiny of rejuvenation. Externally, China wages an information campaign designed to reshape the world's perception of its power. Through state media like CGTN, Confucius Institutes, and platforms like TikTok, Beijing crafts a global message that China's rise is peaceful, inevitable, and beneficial. But beneath the surface lies the three warfares doctrine, adopted by the People's Liberation Army in 2003. Public opinion warfare, psychological warfare, legal warfare. Together, these form the intellectual foundation of China's information strategy. The goal isn't to win battles, it's to win belief. China invests billions annually in shaping narratives abroad, sponsoring influencers, funding think tanks, and even infiltrating global universities under cultural banners. And when these narratives meet resistance, cyber influence operations step in, flooding social media with fake accounts, troll armies, and subtle misinformation. Beijing understands something critical. In the 21st century, dominance doesn't begin with invasion. It begins with persuasion. For decades, the West has quietly mastered the art of narrative supremacy. Hollywood, media conglomerates, academic institutions, and think tanks all became instruments of strategic influence. During the Cold War, the United States established the United States Information Agency, USIA, to counter Soviet propaganda globally. Today, that mission has evolved into a decentralized network of media, NGOs, and data-driven narrative engines. Whenever a conflict erupts, be it Syria, Libya, or Ukraine, the Western narrative architecture ensures a consistent message flows through global outlets. These messages often shape international law, sanctions, and military legitimacy. While this model is often criticized as manipulative, it's undeniably effective. The power to define who the aggressor is, who the victim is, and whose actions are justified is now the ultimate strategic weapon. In the era of cable news and now digital media, information dominance equals geopolitical legitimacy. It is how empires rule without armies. And this brings us to the next question. Where does India stand in this global contest of narratives? For decades, India was a silent spectator in the global information war. Our wars were fought with soldiers, not with stories. Our victories were recorded, but rarely told. But that is changing. From diplomatic campaigns like Operation Ganga and Vaccine Maitri, to global outreach through G20 leadership, India is realizing the strategic importance of narrative power. Social media has become the new frontier of Indian soft power. Influencers, digital journalists, and independent analysts are shaping how the world sees India's rise. Unlike China's centralized control, India's information landscape is decentralized, chaotic, but democratic. And that is both our strength and weakness. When India faces misinformation on global platforms, whether about Kashmir, defense procurements, or human rights, our institutional response often lags behind. We are still developing a coordinated national information strategy that balances transparency, freedom, and strategic communication. Our adversaries, however, understand our open systems and exploit them. Fake narratives, social media bots, and agenda-driven campaigns frequently target India's democracy, trying to erode trust from within. The new warfare is subtle: create confusion, amplify division, erode confidence. India must therefore evolve beyond traditional public relations. It needs an integrated information warfare doctrine, one that unifies military psychological operations, digital diplomacy, and public communication under a single strategic framework. Because in the coming decades, India's security will depend as much on controlling information terrain as on defending its land and sea borders.
Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music.
The next evolution of this invisible war is already here, and it is powered by artificial intelligence. AI can now create realistic voices, videos, and even entire news segments indistinguishable from reality. Deepfake politicians, synthetic influencers, and bot-driven opinion storms can shift public moods overnight. The US, China, and Russia are all developing AI-enhanced cognitive warfare units. Systems designed to understand, predict, and manipulate human thought patterns. The goal is no longer to just inform or misinform, it is to influence decision-making itself. Visuals, Indian scientists, DRDO labs, global AI conferences. India has begun small but significant steps with AI ethics frameworks and indigenous digital literacy drives. But the future battlefield won't wait. In an age where truth can be engineered, national security will depend on digital literacy and strategic communication resilience as much as on missiles or submarines. Every war begins with a story. Every peace depends on who tells it. We live in a world where propaganda looks like news, and news feels like propaganda. The challenge for nations like India is not just to counter lies, but to build credible truths. Because the invisible battlefield isn't somewhere far away. It's right here, in our devices, our beliefs, and our conversations. And as the fog of digital war deepens, one truth remains. Those who control the narrative, control the future.
Thank you for joining us on this Strategic Vanguard deep dive. If you found value in this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you fresh deep dives every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube and Rumble. And you can also catch the audio versions on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search for Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. For more insights, articles, and discussions, subscribe to our blog at strategicvanguard.com. Your support helps us grow and bring you more in-depth analysis on defense, geopolitics, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay strategic.